how we actually optimize your interview success rate. Number one, and again, not a one size fits all, but the first step is to know your unique highest and best use, which means that everything you've ever done in your whole career brings you to a very unique value. Very unique. Okay, a little bit redundant, but brings you to a unique value. That's the beauty of having a career that's so accomplished, is that no one else could have had the exact same day-to-day experience as you. They couldn't have. Scientifically, statistically, it's impossible. Maybe it looks a little the same on paper, but day to day, they don't have your brain. Well, what problem do you solve? Where is your highest and best use? And what's the story of your whole career that encapsulates that? And understanding that it's practically contradictory to human nature to figure that out ourselves. I couldn't do it myself. My life was actually changed and released from the dark side of being a headhunter when I actually had this done and got an executive coach who happened to be my recruiting partner at the time involved. And I realized there was a whole other highest and best use out there for me. Secondly, is your unique value proposition to hit the right audience. So if you're using your experience as the driver, you're going to end up, it's almost like, because they don't really know experience they need, picture trying to shoot a moving target in the dark. But when you use your unique value proposition to hone in on the right audience, you actually end up getting into conversations where you are more competitive. You're actually the person that is ranking the highest, and that increases your interview success rate. One of the things that I always clung in onto as one of my success metrics as a headhunter is that I always had the highest interview to offer ratio. And what that means is, as a headhunter, you submit people, you have your submission ratio, and then you have your interview to offer ratio. And mine was always the highest because I did two things. Number one, I stopped asking the client what experience they were looking for and started asking them what problem they solve. Number two, when I'd recruit people, I don't need to ask their experience. Ask them what problem they solve. Before they go into an interview, I would coach them out of talking about their experience, but coach them on focusing on how that experience solves that problem. Problem to problem match, problem to solution match. Now you have the highest chance of closing the deal. And lastly, know the audience that you're communicating your value to. Even in networking, like once you do get optimized to be found on LinkedIn, you might get a recruiter that calls you. That's not the same angle as a private equity referral that you just got. The resume reviewer, completely different agenda. The interviewer, completely different agenda. So know these audiences and remember that this audience targeting has to do with all angles of your marketing and your sales. It could be in your resume. It could be in your networking, or it could actually be in the actual interview. But bad marketing will get you bad interviews. So the key is absolutely 100% letting your unique value story guide everything about your strategy. Glengarry Glen Ross, always be closing. And I know that's kind of a passe, not how it really works anymore. But what it boils down to is that if you don't target the right audience for where your value is, and again, to take all the cliche out of the word value, your compensation, problem you solve, how you uniquely bring it to the table, value. If that is not guiding your whole entire strategy, then you're going to run into issues. If you let it guide your trust strategy, it will change everything.